So while he was touring his second album, Chasing Yesterday, in 2016, Noel Gallagher lost his marbles and met with this guy, David Holmes, to produce a new album, Who Built the Moon, released on the 24th of November 2017. And I cannot wait to talk about this album because it is bananas, but it's bloody brilliant. So we know Noel Gallagher for these homely vibes, for these relatable songs, Oasis and his solo career. We know him for making albums that are relatable. This one is all about absorbing you into a creative experiment. This is an absolutely insane album. It's unpredictable, it pushes the boundaries, it's creative. It doesn't have that homely, familiar Noel Gallagher feel, but it still absorbs you, it still captivates you because it's so damn ambitious. Now, while it's an album that sounds crazy and over the top and uncontrolled, it never goes too far. There's never a track on this album which you think, what are you doing, Noel? Like, everything ends up working. And what I love about Noel Gallagher is, even when he experiments and makes this wild album, just full of these psychedelic, crazy tones, this joyous, euphoric atmosphere, these odd drum patterns and odd instruments getting introduced. Even when he does that, he doesn't sacrifice melody. He is still just as catchy. He might not be as relatable on this album, might not be as personal, but he's still just as bloody catchy. It's a mysterious album, it's hypnotic. You almost feel like you're in a trance when you're listening to it. It's a very strange album, almost alien in some respects. So Holy Mountain was the first track anyone heard from this album, and it's also the opening track of the album, and it's the most fun Noel Gallagher's had on a track in years. This is a playful, brilliant, swinging, pure pop song. It really is pop. It's got a 70s and 80s feel. The lyrics are not what we know Noel Gallagher for. They're not Wonderwall. They're not Don't Look Back in Anger. But they're fun. They're happy. They're joyous. This album, all throughout it, even when it gets strange and weird, it's full of euphoria. It really is. And Noel Gallagher really just throwing caution to the wind and having fun. And I guess some people who go for Noel Gallagher for the relatability, the Oasis-esque numbers, will be caught off guard, because this is just pure pop. It really is. It's absolute pop. But the swing on it, it's an irresistible melody. I really do believe that. It took me a while, because when I first heard Holy Mountain, I was like, what the fuck is this? But it grew on me. The whole album grew on me. And I feel like the album, that's one of the strengths of it. It grows on you. You get more and more absorbed the more you listen to it.
I'll be honest with you, it took me 5 listens.
Wow.
To get it.
Right.
Which I would say is a good sign.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but with albums, they're a bit like people. If I like someone instantly, I've often gone off them in 3 months. Whereas with an album, if it grows organically on me, it tends to stick there.
Yeah, I agree. There, yeah. And the funny thing is when I was making it, because it took 4 years to make, and because it kind of grew step by step, I didn't realise how different it was until I started to play it to people. 2 after every track. When I first played Holy Mountain to my management, they hadn't heard it. At the end of the song, there was silence, and my manager went, "Are they all like this?" Now, I went, "What?" He said, "Are they all like this?" I said, "No, some of them are even worse."
You don't have to look very far on this album for other joyous tracks, such as If Love Is the Law, which is the never-ending story. I wonder if Noel Gallagher's seen that movie. It is literally the never-ending story. You ripped it off, mate.
Here am I, I'm high up on the ledge, I'm standing on the edge of night in a lonesome town. Turn around, look at what you see in her face, the mirror of your dream. Rip off!
It's a fantastic song. It's full of this innocence and charm, and it has like a Christmas feeling to it with these bells in the background, and Noel Gallagher brings the track a real warm and cosy feeling with his vocal, and he almost sounds like an old, jolly Santa Claus singing on the track. Apologise, Noel. Not calling you old, mate. You are a little bit. Keep On Reaching, it's another track with this euphoric vibe. Starts off with these thumping drums and this fresh and vibrant, wonderful, colourful sound. And yes, it doesn't have the down-to-earth feelings of what Noel was known for, but it's just meant to be escapist fun music, this album. It almost feels like Noel Gallagher was just making this album to just get it out of his system, to just make the craziest album he's ever made. Even though the lyric "keep on reaching up for that higher ground" doesn't stand up to some of his amazing lyrics we remember, it's still a great lyric, still a fun lyric to hear, and it still fills you with positivity when you hear it. And you know, Noel Gallagher's known for positive music, and this album, even though it's not down to earth, it's not reminiscent of his older stuff, it's still positive, it's still full of happiness. There's a wonderful drum opening to this track that gets your heart pounding, and then the trumpets come in, then Noel comes in, and the track just has this sense of spectacle and gets taken off into another dimension. A lot of this album is in another bloody dimension. Speaking of tracks that feel like they're in another dimension, the track "The Man Who Built the Moon" is the most mental track on this whole album. Remember that tunnel scene in Willy Wonka where, you know, he goes into the tunnel and slowly going mad and he eventually just loses the plot? This song sounds like that tunnel scene put to music. It's trance-like, it's hypnotic, it's menacing, it's weird. This is one of the best intros Noel Gallagher has ever done, and the drums on this track are mental. And it really is a song where Noel Gallagher has you singing along to this most bizarre and crazy vibe, you know, this atmosphere to the track. And guess what? It's really, really catchy. Again, Noel Gallagher doesn't sacrifice melody for creativity, so it's all there, all the sing-along prowess he always had.
We never should have left town in the first place. Now we gotta walk like they talk in the rat race.
Beautiful World is the best track U2 never wrote. This is U2 to me. You know, just sonically, it absolutely has that U2 vibe. The guitars, even Noel's vocals remind me of Bono at times. Just the melody, it's U2. This is Noel Gallagher's tribute to U2. This track feels like you're hurtling through space or hurtling through another dimension. It is incredibly joyous, and you can literally close your eyes to this and feel carried away. And it's very, very creative. I mean, even though we're talking about all the creativity on this album, no one track sounds like another. It's almost like he's experimenting on every track, and yeah, he makes one of the best songs he's ever written here. Black and White Sunshine is the only track on this album which I think feels like the old Noel. It has that vibe, it feels like Noel Gallagher, and you know, it feels like Chasing Yesterday, his last studio album. It has a great and infectious, simple guitar melody, almost has an REM type vibe to it, and it has one of the best lyrics on the album. These are the glory days for the waifs and the strays, what a day now. Kind of reminds you of those old lyrics that Noel used to pen when he was all about the lyrics. Again, this album isn't, the lyrics aren't bad, but it's not about the lyrics. It's about the whole package. It's about challenging himself to take his music to new levels. It's not about making that working man's song, that regular person's song, which, if you're missing that, as I said, if you missed that on this album, but this album will grow on you, I promise you it will. Be Careful What You Wish For has this slow pace. It's odd, it's eerie, it's moody, sounds like nothing else on the album, which every track sounds like nothing else on the album. Almost sounds like the Beatles if they were making a gangster track. It conjures up images in my mind of Reservoir Dogs, and like it could be used in a gangster movie. It's a really rebellious and intense, gritty track, but it's slow paced and looming. And I definitely need to mention that I'm really impressed with Noel's voice on this. You know, he can be funky, he can be looming, he can be vibrant, he can be passionate, and he's not known as the singer of Oasis. It's obviously the other guy. His voice is just as experimental as the music, and you've really got to tip your hat, because the guy's not a natural singer, but he's becoming a natural singer on this. He's getting even more creative with his voice. This album is absolutely insane, but it's amazing. It is one of Noel Gallagher's best albums by far. I love it more every time I listen to it. At first I was caught off guard, but eventually you are just drawn into this exciting, colourful journey of psychedelic tones and sonics you've never heard Noel Gallagher tackle before. If you're interested in hearing people experiment, this is the ultimate example of that. And again, he doesn't sacrifice melody. It's all catchy, it's all earwormy. His voice is great, you know, and I'm he's been going further and further with experimentation with his later EPs, which I'm going to take a look at soon also. So we're going to be carrying on my look at the Gallagher brothers discographies. So I'm going to do Liam Gallagher's first solo album next, and then we're going to do Noel Gallagher's EPs, and the journey will be over. And it's been an incredible journey, and it's great that we've got to this point, because quality of this level makes you think maybe we shouldn't see Oasis again. We probably should. Thanks for watching. What do you think of Noel Gallagher, Who Built the Moon? Do you think it's just a mess of experimentation, or do you think it's a fantastic record, as I do? Let me know in the comments down below. Please consider subscribing. We can discuss our music obsession, and I will see you guys next time.